Daum Games announces 2 new playable classes for Black Desert. Blade and Soul, Tera, and Guild Wars 2 prepare for new content updates. Warframe decides to host their own gaming convention, and Riders of Icarus prepares for closed beta Phase 2. What's happening, guys? James Blonde here with MMOHuts.com with a quick weekly recap for MMO news and announcements of the week ending April 18th, 2016. Starting out the news this week is an announcement from Gameforge mentioning that Hex Shards of Fate is headed to Steam this coming week, tomorrow in fact, on the 19th. According to their official announcement, those who already have an account can just simply link it and then log in via Steam, keeping their account intact. Now, one thing to look forward to for new players is an awesome and completely free PvE campaign. Hearthstone and Magic the Gathering duels have separate and small series that you have to pay for, completely separated from their core game, and Hex offers this with no strings attached. In fact, you're given 200 free cards at the very beginning, and as you play through the campaign, you're rewarded rare and legendary PvE cards, equipment, and PvE booster packs, just to name a few. This is just one cool aspect of the game according to its players. Now, as of the 19th, the game is even more accessible to players to try right from Steam. Earlier last week, Daum Games announced that a pair of new classes are headed to Black Desert this week on April 20th. This time around, we've got the Masse and Mewa classes that bring unique abilities and a very different playstyle over the other existing characters in the game. The Masse, selectable as a male, is a melee class that uses a knife and a short bow and relies on high speed and fast reactions in order to stay on the enemy. They are incredibly mobile and specialize on AoE attacks, perfect for small-scale PvP, with his only drawback being his low defense. The Mewa is essentially the female counterpart to the Masse, having very similar stats, and while both the classes are melee-oriented, the short bow affords the Masse and the Mewa a selection of ranged attacks used to knock down targets, then provide them an opening to deliver close-quarter attacks. The difference, though, unlike the Masse, the Mewa specializes in one-on-one combat with an impressive ability to lock down single targets for an extended amount of time. Together, they seem like a really cool new addition to the character class options. In fact, they seem pretty good as a team for group fights. Again, both classes are available in the game on April 20th. In other news, NCSoft announced Blade and Soul's next content update, known as Shattered Empire, set to go live next week on the 27th. The update isn't quite as large as the Silverfrost Mountains update, but it is set to feature 2 new heroic dungeons, Cold Storage and Sogun's Lament, providing the greatest group challenge content in the game to date. Mushin's Tower also gets an extension in this update, adding in floors 9 through 15, plus players can experience a brand new objective-based PvP game mode, Whirlwind Valley, in a furiously competitive 6v6 team-based combat. Keep a lookout for more information as it gets closer to launch, and until then, check out the announcement details at the site post in the description below. Likewise, Masse Entertainment announced the upcoming launch of Secrets and Shadows, a new content update for Tera scheduled for release in May. A big part of this update is a brand new ninja class, a covert strike force of Elens, that might actually make some people mad, who wield oversized shurikens and operate as hit-and-run short-range fighters. The ninja's quick abilities enable players to dodge and evade enemy attacks while dealing deadly damage in return. There isn't a trailer just yet other than the quick intro to the ninja, but over the next few weeks, Masse plans to reveal more information about the Secrets and Shadows update beyond just the ninja class. But among the details, there are 3 new max-level dungeons, new story developments including the return of an old nemesis, and the introduction of a whole new mode of transportation in the world of Tera, flying mounts, which is pretty cool. Seems to be a lot to look forward to. Hopefully players aren't too upset about the new ninja class being specific to the ELN. On a similar note, in the continued celebration of its 5-year anniversary, Rift has launched Update 3.6 that seems to focus on gameplay improvements and add-ons both content-wise and behind the scenes. Rift's multi-core beta improves this time around with new upgrades that continue to help the game performance. Plus, being a multi-core supported game, it's kind of nice to see what it's like working with more of your computing power than you ever have before in a game that obviously didn't have it before. Now that the game has seen a 25 to 35% increase in overall performance for players using multi-core systems, which is basically everyone, hopefully. Other than that, with this update, we see more additions to Carnival, things such as story rift raids, dailies, artifact rewards, and a whole new quest line. Head over to the Rift site posted at MMOHuts.com to keep up with the month-long celebration and updates over the game's 5 years running. Next up, we saw a sneak peek and announcement video for Guild Wars 2 regarding its Spring 2016 update arriving April 19th. Not a whole lot is known just yet, until tomorrow anyway, but word is this update will include improvements to leveling speed and rewards for both base, Guild Wars 2 players, and the Heart of Thorns players. Regardless, the teaser trailer you see playing here is kinda cool looking, despite its overwhelmingly bad outlook on the actual video page. Those dislikes though. Seems like peeps are mad about reused content or footage for that matter, among other things. In other news, it looks like Tree of Saviors community has been talking across the official forums in Reddit about a possible exploit through Steam. Reports have included both a way for Brazilian players to obtain Tree of Savior and its premium items for free, as well as an infinite money exploit, possibly related to the same exploit. According to their forum posts, the developers are looking into the workaround, and even if it's actually a real thing, it could be just talk. They are, however, looking into what sanctions will be applied to any players who have obtained the content illegally, if it turns out to be real. This is yet another struggle for the Tree of Savior English version in early access, so hopefully things start looking better for the team. As I mentioned in last week's recap, the new post-apocalyptic MMORPG called The Skies is now in early access on Steam, and as of April 16th, players can hop into an open-world wasteland which covers an area larger than 200 square kilometers, where they can carve out their own role. It's pretty much an MMORPG with shooter elements and a very non-linear storyline. And as of now, through May 16th, they are offering a lifetime premium package for $14.99 on Steam, which is a pretty good deal considering after that, you'll be paying $9.99 a month in order to have the premium service. So you can experience the game for free, but the premium service offers 50% more experience in gold from PvP battles, 30% increased experience from gold from PvE activities, 150% faster crafting speed, 2 additional crafting queue slots, armor customization options, and access to the closed testing environment, just to name a few of the things. The new gameplay video you see playing here shows off some of the features, otherwise check it out on Steam yourself, or pick up more details first at the site post and game profile at MMOHuts.com. On a very similar note, Fragmented, the online survival game spun off of the Repopulation, is coming to Steam this next week on April 26th. The new Steam launch announcement trailer you see playing here already looks like it has better gameplay mechanics than the Repopulation ever did in its forever-long development. As you might remember, the Repopulation suffered from game engine problems due to its inside-developed game engine and problems with it. But if this is what the game could have looked like using the Unreal 4 engine, and they've gotten this far this quickly, they probably should have switched earlier, just because. Kinda looking forward to this now. Almost looks like a cross between Warframe, PlanetSide 2, and Ark Survival Evolved. Speaking of Warframe, fans of Warframe may be excited to learn that Digital Extremes has decided to create its very own gaming convention based around Warframe. Set in the heart of Digital Extremes' hometown of London, Ontario on July 9th this year, TennoCon, as they are calling it, offers attendees a chance to connect with the Warframe developers, well-known Warframe Twitch and YouTubers, as well as their fellow Tenno. At the show, you can expect major announcements on new content, continued cinematic quest direction and gameplay enhancements, and of course, if you're not able to be there in person, you can also tune into the show via Twitch. Next up, it looks like Paragon is moving along nicely in its early access, with a really cool new combo hero announced this past week. The newest hero, or heroes combined I should say, is Iggy and Scorch, a caster flame-wielding duo with serious lane control. Iggy sits on Scorch while putting down flame turrets that zone enemies, and Iggy also throws Molotovs that cause fire damage, while Scorch secretes flammable oil that compounds the damage over time and expands the damage area. I gotta say, the whole thing looks awesome while it happens, even if you are the one taking the damage. The visual effects here are definitely top-notch, and if you're already in the early access, you can expect to see this flametastic duo in the game this week on the 21st. Also last week, Trion Worlds announced the launch of its closed beta for Atlas Reactor. According to Trion and the game's community, the alpha and open alpha tests were a huge success, but there's still plenty more to come. Some of the new content and features of the closed beta are Seasons, which is a brand new account progression system complete with inventory, crafting, and rewards. So it's basically a way for players to get a glimpse into the world of Atlas while completing challenges and earning rewards along the way. The closed beta introduces spectator mode in its first stages of development, and the release of 2 new freelancers known as Oz, the Trickster, and Ellie, the Enforcer. Now the cash shop is in place where you can get boosters, unlock freelancers faster, and pick up new skins. As you would probably expect, you can gain instant access to the game by picking up a Founders Pack or being randomly accepted for closed beta access, but either way, look forward to my first look on the game coming to you guys really soon. It's definitely unique. And finally, for a last bit of news, Nexon has announced the second closed beta phase for its upcoming MMORPG, Riders of Icarus. According to the official press release, Phase 2 will run from April 21st through the 28th, and signups are still available. Plus, testing regions have now been expanded to include Europe, South America, Australia, and Oceania, but unfortunately the test will be under strict NDA, so no recording or discussion going on just yet. But in the test, new players and returning players will see significant changes made since the first closed beta, including making mounts, which is definitely something very important to this game if you know anything about it, accessible earlier in-game. But anyway, guys, that's about it for all the major MMO news and announcements for this week. Like always, if you're looking for more information regarding the news featured in the recap, check the links in the description below. Otherwise, head over to MMOHuts.com to catch up on the latest in gaming news. Feel free to discuss the news in the comments below and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. But until next time, guys, that's going to be it for me. I'm James Blonde. See you out there, gamers.